Yes, and we are recording. I'm just going to do a live on Facebook as well, so just bear with me.
Okay.
And if you guys could go to your Facebook and then start sharing the screen as well, would be amazing. Share on my timeline. 2 seconds before we go live. So that will be on my Facebook page, okay?
Não, devia ter me arrumado um pouco mais para essa situação, mas não deu.
O importante é o que fala. Vamos lá. Yes. Talking about personal development.
I think Agnes is still connecting.
Yeah. Okay, personal development with.
I think Ellie is not here anymore. Acho que a Ellie caiu.
Caiu? Ah, tá voltando. Dá um minutinho só. Não tá indo. Okay, checking connection.
Yeah, now I can see here. Meetings now is streaming live on Facebook.
Okay, redirecting page, and I'm just gonna mute everyone. Apart from Mari. There we go. Yes.
Okay.
And we are live. So Mari, today she's going to talk. So first of all, Mari, thank you so much for joining us today. 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, we were talking about personal development. We did that, the Portuguese version of it. And tonight she's going to talk to us about personal development again in a different angle. And we're going to, she's going to be speaking in English. So Mari, take it away. It's all yours.
Okay. Yeah, let's focus. I mean, I think the last one, there was quite like a few topics within this, the personal development, but I'm going to focus on a few today that I thought it was like where we spend most of the time, because we spoke, I think that about like half of it was about resilience. So I want to focus on that, and just like on self-growth as well. There were a few things I think that you picked up that were your favorite bits, so I'm just gonna develop those bits a little bit more today.
Good.
Yes. So I'm going to start with I think that resilience is like the first one. So I think that I mentioned as well in the last session, but I just want to talk again. Like for me, really, what has been life changing this year is when I decided to get a coach. Because I've been doing therapy for ages, but I think it's a different thing because therapy is more like to to heal some of the traumas and some of the things that happen in your life. But a coach is more like to change your mindset, to guide you to a different mindset. So I think we spoke a bit as well a few weeks ago on that, but I just really want to talk about how that has changed in me and has helped me to, I think everybody should get a coach no matter what you do. I actually read a sentence from Bill Gates saying that everybody needs a coach, and I think that he has a great point, because the mindset, why you do here with Arbonne and with the self-development and all of that, it is pretty much supporting each other or like it made you change the mindset of like reading, on assisting videos, listening to audios like you were talking in the beginning, on Audible and things like that. This is all part of of what I'm talking about, but the only difference is that having somebody to have like accountability. I find that he's always like, oh, have you done this? or, have you finished your journal, or things like that. Because I think that also journaling is really good. I didn't used to journal before. I didn't really used to write things down so much. And I think that that's also been a huge improvement, because if you write down, then you read back, you can see your improvement. You can see the things that were affecting you months ago might not be affecting you anymore. Or you can see,
Exactly.
I think that the most important thing is that you can see a pattern of also things that is been happening over and over again that you need to change.
And then prior to that, I mean, you didn't realize, isn't it? You didn't realize that. I mean, did you that had the pattern to it? That's very interesting. Yeah.
I mean,
never thought about it in that way.
I mean, if you do like sort of, I do mornings and evenings, and then you can see that is this, and then after a few weeks, you're like, I've written this down for a few times now, So, and then you start to realize that a few things that you need to change. So I think that definitely something that I didn't think that I mentioned last time about the journaling, but I just want to say now, because that is very much part of what you do anyway, with each other. But I think the writing down is different than just thinking, because when you write down, it's registered, so you don't forget. Because I think that we forget that, we end up forgetting sometimes the mistakes, and the difficult to identify patterns if you haven't got registered. I think just to remember.
And also the second thing that I like that you said is relation to accountability, because the coaching is basically, I mean, he's going to be there, I think, at least in this beginning, because it is a change that we are all going through. So I think, I mean, a coach will be there for you in the sense, okay, have you done this? Have you done that? Which is good. But I also think it would come to a point that you have to do it on your own. Do you see what I mean? Which is part of the self-development.
Yeah, it's more to get you into it, I think.
To the habit of doing something.
Yeah, because once you get in the habit of, exactly, like if you do, like I'm doing a 3-month program, for example, so after that, I mean, obviously it's not going to be forever, but it's to get you into that routine, to that habit, is to change. So because I think that one thing is really important, that changing habit is one thing else that I learned. Changing habits takes about 66 days for us to change a habit, right? So that's why I think it's important to do something like that. I mean, I think that everyone, as I say, should do it, at least for like a little bit, because it gets you into breaking some bad habits, because we all have bad habits. All do. It might be different. You might be, you might be like not sleeping enough, because the recovery is really important as well. I used to not sleep enough. I mean, I still need to improve that, but I was sleeping like 5 hours and a night, because I was really anxious as well with what was happening in my life. So I couldn't sleep. I couldn't, I was buzzing in the evening. I was like super, I wanted to do everything in the evening. And also I was watching all those motivational books and things in the evening, watching the videos and reading the books and getting really, and now I do in the morning, because if you do that in the evening, it gets you really, excited.
Pumper up. I want to do something now, and it's like midnight. So exactly. Not ideal.
Not ideal. And then I was going to sleep like about 1:32 and getting up at 6:30. And then I was always on that routine. And then when I started writing down how tired I was feeling on my journals every morning, every evening, I was like, oh, what did you wish you had done better? And I was like, I wish I slept more. And then I noticed that why was I not sleeping better? It's a simple thing, but then I start increasing another hour. I still need to increase another one, because I wanted to get to like 8, but now I'm in between 6 and 7, which is better than it was in the beginning of the year. And also just like everything, I think that everything is connected to these, the reading and the mindset is really important, but also your physical body is important, and I'm not talking about, being, skinny or anything like that. I'm just talking about eating well, and doing some sort of activity, whether there is walking, running. I mean, this is all part of the self-development. That's why I'm saying this, because, if you are, like I wasn't doing anything physically, I was working my mind, but not really my body. So I start feeling like, you know what I mean? It was not connected. One thing was better than the other. And then, I think that once you start, moving, even if it's going for a walk, if you don't want to, you don't need to work out, but even like a walk, moving, because you spend a lot of the time in front of our computers, our phones, right? We're not like, especially now that we are not going anywhere. It's not that we are even commuting or going anywhere. We are literally at home all day. So, you know, and it's really easy. I mean, I spent like the first month of the lockdown literally inside, indoors, you know, you know, going like to the shop, that was like my workout, you know. And I think it's important that we like sort of, you know, especially now that you can go back out now, you can go to the park, you know, it's summer as well. I mean, it's not very nice outside, but it's not like freezing cold. So, you know, going to the park or even around the block. I think this is something that I wanted to mention last time that I didn't because we ran out of time, but I think this is all really important that you connect all the dots to, you know, feel better and feel healthier, really. Okay, so I mean, the resilience for me, it's something that I learned, you know, in pain. I learned like with life, really. Nobody taught me that one. I learned that one on my own. I think that to make like to commit to something, and what I was saying now is like, for example, every day you've got your commitment with, you know, with your work, with your family, you know, whether you've got kids or no, or your husband or no, or, you know, your friends. And I think that we forget ourselves, and that's something that I also we also spoke last time, that we forget to look after ourselves. We forget our commitment with ourselves. So, for example, if you say, "Oh, you know what, today I'm going to read a book for an hour," right? And then things happen, and then you're like, "You know what? That's okay. I can read tomorrow." You know, and I think that if you keep doing that, that's going to create a pattern of not doing things that you should be doing, of not respecting your commitment with yourself. And again, if you've got like, you know, to feed your child or, you know, have a shower, you will do it, right? You're not gonna say, you know, I'm not gonna wash her tomorrow, I'm gonna, you know, today I'm gonna wash her tomorrow, or, you know, I'm not gonna. So these things, I think, is a small things that count, you know. And so setting up smaller tasks, smaller goals is important as well, because sometimes we set up like these huge goals. I was actually watching a video with Will Smith, and then he said that he was like, I just put one brick a day, but I make sure that I lay out my brick really well. So like, you know, I don't aim to build the whole wall. I do one brick at a time, you know, one brick a day. And that's such an important advice, because that's exactly what we should be doing. We should be doing, you know, is less and smaller tasks. So for example, when I start going back to exercising, I'm not gonna set up 2 hours a day in the gym, because it's very unlikely that I'm gonna go from nothing to 2 hours a day. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna do it. So it's better to do like, okay, I'm gonna set up 30 minutes, right? And then, you know, I want to, then you can increase that. But the whole point is that if you go from you know, 0 to to 2 hours, you're probably not going to do it. So you're better off doing the 30 minutes than increasing to 40, 45. That's why I think, you know, that's what he means by one brick at a time. Like, set up the goals. You know, for example, if you have to send your messages, set up goals, realistic goals of how many messages you can send a day. Because if you set up 30 or 40 or 50, and you, whatever else you've got to do in the day doesn't allow you to do so, then you're gonna be like, oh, you know what, I haven't really reached this today, so I'm gonna do it tomorrow. You know, and that is when you start creating this bad habit of not finishing tasks, of not, you know, committing. And that is that's really important long term, I find, at least for me. You know, when I set up something to do, I do it. Even if I'm tired, I will do it. I will do it, because that sort of creates us this sense of you know, accomplishment, of like, you know what, I've done everything I set up to do today. So I think that it's starting where what you can do. Because, you know, maybe like one of you can send 30 a day, but it's not for everyone, because, you know, you don't know what other people are doing on that day, what's the commitment with everybody else, if they've got somebody to help them with, you know. So I think that is better to set up the you know, what you can do, you not comparing to anybody else, because everybody has a different, you know, a different day, a different schedule, you know, a different yeah, different timing, really. So we've got to.
That's very important. I mean, what you said in relation to small goals, because I think that's, I mean, that goes for every aspect of your life. So let's say, for example, if you're talking about, I mean, today I was doing a live where I was speaking about like getting financially independent. So if people, if they want to get financially independent, they think, oh my gosh, I'm going to start saving, like, I don't know, £2,000 a month. I
Yeah.
mean, that's not going to happen, like, you know, in 1 week or in 2 weeks or even 3 months. So you have to start thinking about, okay, I'm going to start saving £100 per week, £100 per month. And then my end goal would be X amount. So that's, I mean, you have to have like a 2-month plan or a 3-month plan. And that goes for every aspect of your life. That goes to Arbonne, or that goes to any other thing that you're doing. So if you are not happy with your job, for example, you can't just say, I'm going to quit my job tomorrow. That's not going to happen, because obviously you need the money as well. So you need to start with the small goals. And what I mean by that, okay, I'm not happy with my job. So what can I do? So, okay, so like start looking for another one. So go online. I'm going to separate an hour, 2 hours, or even 3 hours of my day just to look for another job until it's the right time for you to say goodbye to the previous job. So if you set up, the things that we learn, in personal development, you can apply in every aspect of your life. So as I said, just think about something that you want to do, so that if that's Arbonne, if that's your current job, if your current relationship, your finances, and set up small goals for it. I think that will be one way, the best way actually to start your change. And also, if you don't do that, you're gonna get frustrated. Yeah. Because if you don't achieve what you think you set the goal, we think it's possible, or if you think like you set up to achieve, that's it, you're going to feel frustrated. And then when we are frustrated the first time, then we're probably more likely not to try it for the second time. And then if we don't try it for the second time, that's it, we just give up. Because either we think we can't do it, or we're going to listen to someone saying to us that we can't do it.
Yeah, but then if you actually setting up goals that are too high, then you won't do it. And then you're gonna like sort of validate what you were thinking and what other people are thinking. So it's like a self-sabotage, isn't it? That you do that to yourself just to like prove a point unconsciously sometimes. Like, oh, I knew it, but it's just because you are, I was like the queen of doing that, I was always with like these crazy goals, that, they are still there, but now I think I have like a breakdown of steps.
Yeah, you prioritize them.
Yeah, and I know that's gonna take a bit longer than I thought. I know that there's like some steps because also, circumstances change, life changes. So you need to readapt your life. You've got to whatever like works for you right now. Like my life, 3-6 months ago was completely different. That's completely different. Like it has been the biggest change ever this year. So my goals in January are not the same there now.
Of course,
my goals in March are not the same there now. I'm not even living in the same city. I'm not the same, but everything changed. So you've got to reevaluate your goals and set up like the tasks. I think the steps to go up.
Yeah, and that's very healthy, I think. For you personally as well, to be always reevaluating what you think. And also if you think, because some people, they think, oh my gosh, okay, if I don't achieve that, I'm going to be ruined. And it's not that. Reevaluation is part of the process as well. So if people start to understand that, I think they will feel like a relief in a way that, they can set up the goals. If something changes, just readapt and move forward.
Yeah, that's the thing, it's sometimes it's not, it can be a bit frustrating when you've got to do that, to like, readapt. But I think that that's key as well, because adapting is resilience. Resilience, it's like a few things. Resilience is not giving up. It is being adaptable, because circumstances change, so you've got to be adaptable. And I'm sure that a lot of us that moved to a different country, you are very familiar with what that means, right? Which is like adapting to a completely different world, which is being resilient, because no matter how good your circumstances are when it comes to being legal here or having money, all of that, you still have to adapt to a new culture, or not having your family and friends around, right? It's always going to be a challenge in different ways. But I think that resilience is something that it's for me is the most important thing to have. It is like involves so many things, but I think it's mainly honoring your decision. That's what I would say. because whether there is a decision to move countries or to change careers or to be with someone or not be with someone, I think honoring your decision is the most, because if you honor your decision, then you are able to do anything else. You are able to be strong with whatever challenges you face, because you know that you can count on yourself. That's it, because the thing is, you count on people, right? You count with your family, your friends, right? But you've got to count with yourself, because you might not have everybody around you all the time, and I think that's the thing. I used to rely on other people to feel better, to feel good. I used to rely on other people in order for me to feel safe, or to feel, like I had something, someone to have my back, I would say, which is great, because I still do, my family, my friends, but it's good if you can just be strong and resilient because of yourself, because of your own, achievements. It's gonna be dark. I'm just gonna switch my light on here. There we go. It's be better now. Yeah, so I think that also another topic that I mentioned that I want to talk again is about leaving the past in the past, because I think that what we do quite a lot is that we use the past to sabotage our future. We use like whatever, maybe perhaps something didn't work like a year or two ago, but that doesn't mean it's not going to work now. Or we sort of had a bad experience with a friend or a relationship, and then we sort of decide that nothing else is going to work, and that's a way as well of like sabotage, of not honoring ourselves. I think it's important to use that experience to learn, to grow, and to try and not make the same mistake again, hopefully. But I find that for me at least, like I am definitely trying, every day is a daily process, really, to not let whatever was a bad decision in the past impact and influence your future, because that is why, I think every day is a new chance, isn't it? It's a new chance of, building a new story, of building a new future. And every time I find that I'm sort of, getting too attached emotionally to my past, I get like in a stage that I block any opportunities that come my way, because I'm just like, oh, this is not going to work because it hasn't worked in the past. And I think I did that quite a long time, even with my career, because it was such a struggle for me in the beginning. I was always like, oh, this is not going to work. I'm not going to even try because it hasn't worked before. But, you are not the same person now that you were before anyway. You know what I mean? Who I am now is definitely not who I was years ago,
Yeah, and the environment is different as well. So then you are different and environment is different as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that one thing that that helped me is to, instead of like looking at my past and be like, I should have done different, is just to have gratitude, just to be like, okay, I'm going to be grateful for that. I'm going to be grateful for whatever bad experience I had, as well as the good ones. But, because they sort of made me who I am now, all of that together made me realize that I need to look after myself, and I'm talking about like this in self-development, and and I've also, self-development is something that there isn't like a destiny. There is not like, I got there, I'm there now. I don't need to do anything, you know what I mean? It's the journey, isn't it? It's every day. I mean, I'm pretty sure that all these people that we all admire, like Tony Robbins, and I'm pretty sure they still work on themselves. There's not that like they sort of, I'm okay now, I'm here, because we're always gonna have to face things. I'm sure he faced challenges as well. Everybody faces challenges all the time. You lose you can end a relationship, you can lose a parent, you know what I mean? You can lose somebody you love. So we always gonna have challenges. Not that you sort of get to a point that you are there. And I think that that's the mistake that at least I used to make. I used to have like I thought it was like a destination, that I would get there and that would be it. You know what I mean? I would get to that destination, like financially or career or, with myself, everything. And that would be it. I would be there and not have to just chill. And I think that now I realize that that's not what it is really. I think I was mistaken when I was younger, really, because it is all about I think the journey is about the everyday, is about these small successes that we've got every day. And it's about saying, oh, you know what, today I woke up, I did my meditation, I read my book, you know, I did my workout, I did myself, I read watch my videos. You know what I mean? It's about these small things that you accomplish every day, that you honor your words, that you honor your, you know, your your commitment to yourself. And that's, I think, what for me is success, you know, because I thought before success was like, you know, having a private jet, you know what I mean? You know, just like being like that. And now I realize that, I mean, obviously that would be great still, but you know, that's not what this is about. It is about honoring what I've set up myself to do. You know, it's putting my brick there every day.
Yeah, amazing. That's very good, Mari. Wow. And that's one of the things that I liked about what you said is basically in relation to being grateful. And that's something that I try to do every single day, but it's more like, because I'm doing the personal development now, but I think I was like years and years without being grateful. I mean, of course you still, I mean, you are grateful to some extent, but you're not like truly grateful where you actually feel it. So one thing is basically you're saying, oh yeah, I mean, I've got a house, kids, blah, blah, blah. But the other thing is basically you're really feeling grateful for everything that you have. So wake up in the morning and you have a house, you have something to eat. Imagine of all those people, they don't have those things. So that's, I mean, what I'm talking about, being grateful, like on a daily basis. And then once I start doing that, my life just changed. Do you know why? Because once I realized what I have, I mean, the big problems, what I thought they were big problems, they are actually small problems now. You just change the way that you see your problems, and that's your growth. So when you see, I mean, problems, of course, we all have problems. As you said, I mean, Tony Robbins, I mean, of course, he wakes up in the morning, he has problems as well. But the difference is the way that he's going to face these problems. And basically, I'm reading a book, it's actually here. So it's basically Awaken the Giant Within.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. And he gives us a sort of like 5 questions that you should ask yourself when you're facing a problem. And I think this is basically amazing. And I started using it. I mean, I read it, I think like it was a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And I actually wrote them down. It's actually here on my wall. I can look at it. And then once I actually started using those, it's called problem solving questions. And it just changed my life. I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought I had a problem, but that's nothing. Okay, next one.
Yeah.
So actually, it does change. So it's not, I mean, the fact that you have problems or you don't have problems, is the way that you're going to face your problems. And that's part of your journey as well. And it's part of your journey of self-development. The more you know yourself, the better you can deal with your fears, with your objections, with everything, really. And you can actually deal better with others that they are, you know, in your life. And then I think that's very good. I mean, that's part of your journey to success, as you said.
Yeah, exactly as you say now, the reaction, isn't it? How you react to, because, you know, we will all face challenges every day. You know what I mean? It could be small or bigger, but I think it's how we react, you know. I used to react in a very dramatic way, you know, like I used to make them even bigger than they were. But the thing is, if you make them bigger, they will be bigger. You know, because that's the way that you see it, you know. And as you said, I think once you start having more gratitude about things, you know, and even if you take 10-15 minutes a day to really feel grateful, because it's not just say, oh no, I'm grateful, but it's to feel it, because that's the isn't it, to feel, you know, in your heart that gratitude for you've got. And I mean, it can be like 5 minutes of your day, it can be 10, you know, it can be whatever long you've got, that you can actually feel, because it's the same thing with affirmations, right? They only work if you believe what you're saying, you know. And the way that I find that I believe is like repetition. You know, the more you repeat them, the more you start to believe, because again, that's the whole process of changing the habit, of changing your belief. you know, which is a completely different conversation, I think. But, you know, there's a guy, which I don't know if you probably you heard because of the George Spencer, that right, that he studies, yeah. And, you know, I read his books, 2 books, like literally like 2 weeks. And I was like fascinated by the way that, you know, we can actually change a belief by repetition. And, you know, the reason is like all the beliefs we've got now is already a repetition, a bad habit, right? It's a bad habit, you know. Like, for example, I remember that my mom, I mean, not in a bad way, because we were raised like, you know, she didn't really know how much impact they would have, but saying, oh, you know, you can't have it all, you know. She used to tell me that. She used to be like, no, you know, it's okay because you can't have it all. And then, you know, she repeated that to me when I was a kid over and over again. So unconsciously I start believing that. And then I came to a point that I was like choosing, oh, shall I, you know, I can't really be with my boyfriend if I, you know, if I want to work in this job, so I'm gonna have to choose the job. You know, I was always choosing something until recently. I was like, I have to choose something because I, you know, but not be just like she, you know, she planted that seed in my brain when I was like 7 years old, and my whole life I've been, you know, with this problem of being, you know, trying to choose what you have. And then when I realized, like, I was like, well, you know what? Why can I not have it all? You know, who said so? Like and then I even asked my mom, I was like, who told you that you couldn't have it all? You know, I was like, she was like, oh, your nan. And I was like, Jesus, you've been all like living this terrible situation. Like, think that you can't have it all. Like, you know, I want to have it all. I want to at least try to have it all, you know.
Exactly.
And I think that's
you're changing your life, and you're changing your mom's life as well. I mean, because I'm sure that she hasn't thought about it, isn't it? I mean, and sometimes we just say things to ourselves and to our kids as well that we just don't realize what we're doing.
You don't realize, but look at one thing, small, isn't it?
Yeah.
How much impact my whole life.
Totally.
I've been choosing things and suffering because I always had to give something up, you know. And I always, you know. And I was like, why, you know, you just say that because, you know, it's very good.
Now we all know we can have it all.
You can have it all. I mean, you know, I'm sometimes, you know, you might have to you know, find a balance. But I mean, like, for example, look, you've got, you know, your family, you've got your child, you've got, you know, your job, you were doing something else. You can have a balance. You are having it all. You are experiencing it all. You know, that's what I mean. You know, it's being able to, you know, not having to choose what you have to do. You know, if you don't want to have it all, that, you know, is because it's your choice, because you chose to just, you know, to be comfortable and happy with what you've got, not because you've got to have some giving up on something, you know. And I think that, you know, it's the same thing with money, you know. I think that a lot of times, you know, some people, like, they sort of think that money is a bad thing, then, you know, that money is going to be bad for you, that you're going to become, you know, a selfish person, or you're going to, something bad's going to happen when, you know, you have like, when you find like abundance. But, you know, that's like a wrong belief as well. But that's a society. I'm not even talking about anything specific. I have a lot of friends, for example, that think, you know, oh, you know, I don't want to be really rich because I don't want to be that kind of person. I was like, what kind of person? I mean, I know a lot of rich people, they're really nice. You know, they are really positive, they are really nice, they are really like sort of helpful, they care about others. You know, that doesn't really define how good you are as a human being. I mean, I know poor people that are terrible. You know what I mean? I know that doesn't really dictate, but a lot of people like try to blame, you know, that on like external circumstances, but it's actually down to the person to be a good person or not, isn't it? I think your audio is gone. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, I just put it on mute. Yeah, definitely. I totally agree. I think that some people, I mean, we just have like preconceived ideas, and sometimes we judge people by that. I mean, or we judge situations by it as well. I mean, having money, not having money, doing that or not doing that. So yeah, if we get rid of those preconceived ideas, we're just going to live, I don't know, freely, and then free to choose whatever we want to choose.
Yeah, and you might even block meeting somebody really nice, for example, because you are prejudging that person. You know? And this is all part of self-development, because this is when you start to, the thing is, the only way of working on things that are not good is if you identify them. That's why I'm talking about these things, because if you don't know that this is an issue, then you don't need to
can't work on it. Yeah, you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, so I think that that's why I think writing things down helps, because you start to identify these beliefs, these things that are wrong, and then trying to address them, or even like there's so many of them, but just one more before I finish the subject, which is like, you need to work really hard. It needs to be difficult for you, what I mean, to be recognized, for example.
Oh yeah, that's something that we say a lot in Arbonne, isn't it? Because that's something that we have in our mind as well. It's basically, if you don't work hard, you can't get it. If you don't work, like, I don't know, 14, 15 hours a day, I mean, you're not going to get whatever you want in life. And that's not it, isn't it? I mean, that's exactly what we say in Arbonne. That's the opposite. I mean, you can start by, of course, working hard at the beginning, but then you're going to build your future. So then the idea is basically to have this extra income where you're going to build your future. And in the future, basically, you wouldn't have to work, so hard, because you're building up to it.
No, but working hard doesn't mean it needs to be difficult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I also work, we all work hard, that's I think that working hard is different than being difficult, but I think that society also puts this in, if it's easy, for example, if it's easy, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why is not good enough? Like, I mean, I want it to be easy. I don't want it to be difficult. Like, it's been so difficult for so long. I just want it to be easy,
And easy could be like having fun along the way as well.
Yeah, that's it. Because I think that I mean, I'm sharing with you lots of things that I did, my own things, because I think that somebody that's watching might identify with some of the things I'm saying, because
of course.
Yeah, because we all go through these beliefs. We all heard these things from like our parents or our auntie or our nan, right, saying that these things to us, and they get engraved in our brains, and it sticks with us forever, even if you don't notice. But I got myself saying that to people in my life, saying, why, if it's easy, it's not worth it, or something, why not? And I think that's something that I learned with a friend of mine, actually, Katie. Why can it not be easy? Why can it not be like, fun? And why can it not have joy? And I think that trying to have a balance, and incorporating the joy and the fun and the being light as well, because if it's heavy, it's not good. And being it has to be light. I think that's what the thing about working hard. You can work hard, it's okay, but if it's like heavy, and I used to do that my other job last year. It was like heavy work hard. It wasn't something enjoyable. Now I still work hard, but it's like light. It's like, because I work with people that are also seeking the same principles as I am. So it's not like, it's something that I feel pleasure in doing. And I think that being grateful for your past, and also for your future already in advance, because your brain doesn't really know the difference, right, between the events that have already happened, that hasn't. So if you are already grateful for the future, then you are more likely to attract that, somehow. Because the thing is,
I think attraction, isn't it? That's Joe Dispenza.
Yeah, that's what it is about, isn't it? All that thing about The Secret, those 1,000 films, videos, and books and things. This was the very simple definition of, it's basically like, the universe, like the quantum field. It's like there's no time difference. It's like we are all living, and that's it, so it's your connection with that, that you're gonna manifest quicker. That's what it was really about. And I think that Joe Dispenza explained that very easily, like on a 10-minute video, in case you don't want to watch the 10 hours of The Secret.
That's the thing. I mean, when I started, this journey to self-development, we're just finishing off here, guys. That's something that I realized is basically, I didn't know that your brain didn't know what was actually happening and what you were imagining. I didn't know. Maybe I knew, but I wasn't like, in my mind that. And that's very interesting, because if your brain doesn't know if one thing has already happened or not, and then if you are dreaming about it, and if it's a good thing or a bad thing, imagine if it's a good thing, and if you're dreaming about it, it's more likely that you're going to have it. So I didn't know that. And sometimes we just start wondering, oh, what if this happens? And, you know, from the bad side of things, I don't know, what if my mom dies? What if? And then you're like, oh my gosh, you just enter in this bad vibe, and then you just start attracting a lot of, you know, negative, I don't know, energy around you. And then all of a sudden you're down. So then what I do right now, I mean, that's the video. I think I know which video you're talking about, because I think I watched it last week. And that's exactly what he said. I mean, your brain doesn't know the difference. So if it doesn't know the difference, why on earth you're going to start thinking about, you know, bad thoughts? Just, you know, position yourself where you want to be, picture yourself there, and that's it. Accept nothing less than that. So if you want to achieve something, and if you want to be, I don't know, if you want to be successful, or if you want to achieve, I don't know what in your life, just picture yourself doing it over and over again. It's not like once and then I'm going, oh, it's going to happen. No. So picture yourself doing it and being on that spot over and over again, but actually feeling it. So if, you know, you allow yourself, I don't know, 4 minutes, 5 minutes in a day where, you know, you close your eyes, you picture yourself where you want to be, who you're going to be with, you know, the environment, the smell, and try to actually picture it in your mind. And that's it. When it actually happens, your brain will think, oh my gosh, yeah, it's just like a deja vu.
But yeah, but you are very right. Is what you say is a repetition. It's about doing every day, because in the beginning it will be more difficult to believe. You know, but the more you do, the more you believe.
Exactly.
You know, and like everything else, you know, and also I think that, you know, you know, whatever the challenges are in our life. I mean, the reason that I started looking for self-development, the main reason was because of the challenges in my life. You know, so I think that whatever challenge that is what's gonna, you know, initiating you in this journey, right? Because you don't want to feel so affected by those challenges anymore. So you want to seek for something better. You know, you want to you know, you want to start to, the thing is, if you can believe in all those bad things that we are, you know, programmed to believe, you know, then you can believe in better things. That's it, you know what I mean? That's no it's as you say now, if you want to believe in something bad, it's the same difference in something good. It's gonna be the same work. It's gonna be like
the energy you're gonna put it in is the same. So why on earth you're gonna start thinking something
every
bad?
day, repetition, you know. And just, you know, it is you know, I mean, if you can do morning and evening, it's good. If you can just do one time a day, then at least in the morning you can set up your day to something really good and positive.
Exactly. And I think, I mean, the things that I'm going to take from this talk today is basically about, you know, personal development for me is key. So if you haven't started your journey to personal development yet, I mean, it's never too late. It's just start knowing yourself, start doing your affirmations in the morning, start thinking positive, because your problems, even if you have, like, if you think you've got like huge problems, think in perspective, and then think they're not going to look so big if you start knowing yourself, or if you start, you know, prioritizing your day, and just take take half an hour in the morning for you, and then you're going to have like an amazing day, and also you're going to have an amazing life. That's what I think. That's it from me. I'm gonna just, you know, pass it on to Mari for her to, you know, and also Mari, I'm just gonna thank you as well for being here with us and then sharing your thoughts. I know that you are in this lovely journey to personal development. I've known you for, I don't even know how many years, 10 years maybe. And you have changed a lot in the last 6 months. I mean, we are constantly in contact, and I know, you know, that I always say that to you, but I am impressed. I'm impressed what you've achieved, and I think it's just you know, the tip of the iceberg. We are there to see more and more coming from you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think that one thing as well that I just wanna, I think, thank you for having me again. And I know that I always love talking about this, because this has been a life changer for me, really. You know, this has been like the, you know, the where I decided to not be that person that was always down, complaining, you know, and like, you know, blaming everything else. And I took a responsibility for all my decisions, for all my choices, and decided that if I made those choices, then I had the choice of also, you know, improving my life, you know, without waiting for anybody else to come and do it for me, you know. And one thing that you know, I read like my coach taught me that I just want to leave with that. It's that, you know, he taught me, he actually wrote that on his book that is really good as well, by the way. But he wrote like the good thing about the start is that you're never there again. You know,
amazing.
and I read that and I was like, this is so good. It's such a simple thing that he wrote, but you know, it's just like, it's true, you know. So like, you know, I'm not where I was in January. I'm never gonna be there again.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how long my journey still is, I'm just glad that I'm not gonna be on that
Only
whole
one start.
yeah
I love that. Yeah, I'm gonna actually repeat that as well.
yeah, you know what I mean. That's the good thing
Amazing.
about it. And you know, I'm really like yeah. And if you need, you know, and yeah, if you want to touch base later and talk, feel free to reach out.
Of course, of course. Thank you very much, Maria. Again, thank you all for your comments. Yeah, I can see here Maria is commenting as well. She's saying thank you. Amara as well saying thank you. Thank you all for having us this evening. And yeah, okay. So have a good evening, everyone. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.